What's up, man?
How you doing?
Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. You have been queued up to come on the show for a while now. Everybody says good things. Gabby says good things. I follow you on the gram, and I'm just happy to have you, man. So
Thank you.
You're from Delaware?
Yeah, Delaware. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go like deep dive into your background in this conversation, but before that, what made you start training in Philly?
Okay. Well, yeah. So Taylor Pierce. I met him. We started training together in 2014 at a gym called Predator MMA, and 2016 the gym split. I went to 302. He went to Jack's kickboxing gym, but we were still buddies. We worked together, best friends, good friends,
Yeah.
and so I was getting ready to actually fight Issa. And that was October 30th. It was scheduled for 2020. And Taylor was already up in Philly. And it was about 3 weeks out from the fight. And 302, things were okay, but certain things weren't working out. Mm-hmm. And I think it was October 16th. I remember dates pretty good. It was October 16th, a Friday.
Not like me.
And I was like, Issa, I look at my phone. Issa pulled out of the fight. He had an ankle injury. And I was like, damn, well, that's rough. 2 weeks out, COVID. I was, looking forward to fighting.
Yeah.
And then things weren't really working out with my coaches, the team at 302. So I called Taylor up and I'm like, yo, man, do you think there's any way I could come up to Philly to train? I'm like, things aren't really working out here. I'm looking to make the switch because Delaware was good. Certain things were good, certain things not so much. And it was just time for change and to get in a new environment. So I actually went in on Monday, met John, Daniel, and I've been there since.
Yeah. Got along instantly?
Instantly.
I feel like who doesn't get along with those guys? They seem very, I mean, granted, they're going to whoop your ass afterwards and push you.
Yeah.
But they're very friendly, outgoing.
Good guys.
No nonsense.
If you don't
type
get
guys.
along with them, there's
You're
a
an
problem
asshole.
with you.
You're an asshole. Yeah. So did you grow up in the same area as Taylor?
It's a little bit more north. It's Hockessin. It's more on the other side. If you were going up to 95 to Pennsylvania, it's more on the left side, like going towards Lancaster, like that part of Delaware.
Okay. So more
north,
rural, but more like rural.
Yeah, more of a suburb kind of.
Because Taylor grew up in like the city-ish or like the main street.
It's like
area.
Main Street, University of Delaware area, where I'm at now.
He didn't have many great things to say about his area of Delaware.
Yeah, it's
I was trying to dig so is it hopping on the main? Yeah. He's like, nah, not really.
Yeah, Delaware.
A lot of drugs.
I love Delaware. Yeah, I mean, I can't. I'm not a city guy. I go there to train, but I'm just not a city guy. I'm more of a suburb kind of guy. But.
All right. Sorry, Philly. Hey, bro. Jersey's fine too.
Yeah.
Nah, we're all one big happy family. So, talking about Delaware, I've been ranting about how I want to make shirts for Burrell's next fight.
Yeah.
And for everybody, but taking advantage of him fighting to force him to wear it. And I'm like, all right, so I want to use somebody local to do the shirts, not just one of these generic places that you can whatever online. And I'm like, somebody posted something where I thought it looked cool and I couldn't remember who the hell it was, and I kept on going, and it was you who was talking about the shirts and your whole fight gear, I guess, that you got done down there.
Spaceboy clothing, in Wilmington,
So now Chess is my boy.
Yeah,
he's my guy. We've been going back and forth. So thanks to him, he's from Wilmington.
Yeah.
And his Space Boy clothing.
Yeah.
Right. What a cool guy. Super into fighting, wanting to support fighters. So we clicked, and then now he's helping me kind of narrow down the final designs, and we got some really fucking cool shirts coming.
Awesome. That
we're gonna be putting out there. So Chaz, you're the man. And hopefully, I don't know. Well, it's going to be before July 3rd. He guaranteed that. So hopefully soon we can debut
Pressure's
the shirts.
On.
What's up?
Pressure's on.
The pressure for him is not on at all. I think I saw a behind the scenes thing of one of the machines or whatever that he uses. Yeah, he's good to go. I think he's got the full operation going. But I got to make it down there and check out the actual place. So thank you, because if it's not for you, no shirts for anybody.
Without you even knowing. Like that.
Yeah. So what was it like growing up? Tell me about your family, parents, kid, brothers, sisters, anything.
So I have 2 brothers, 2 sisters.
Oh damn.
And so I had an older brother. Well, he had passed away.
Okay.
So he was on my mom's side, and then I had my older sister on my dad's side. Then my parents got together, then had my sister Jessica. She's just under 2 years older than me. She's 26,
Okay.
maybe 27. And then I have my twin brother John. So
Oh, you got a twin?
Yeah. So yeah, you'll see him on my social media if you like.
Am I following the right one?
Yeah. And so my older brother passed away when I was 12. He was 21, drinking and driving. So
Damn, dude.
that was rough, but I think that taught me a lot in life. Life's fragile. You know, you have to go out and get what you want.
Yeah.
And me and my twin brother are very close. Sometimes, you know, we get in our fights. We split apart for a little bit, but growing up with a twin's a lot different than a brother. It's your same friends, the same birthday, everything. It's the same cake you cut. You know, it's everything's the same. And so I think that helped mold me into like the fighter I am, and me and him fighting all the time and being very competitive.
All right.
And he's doing his thing in jiu-jitsu. He's doing pretty well. He trains a little closer to Delaware and Delaware County at the Vault, and he's doing good. I think he has.
That's Delco, right?
Yeah,
Is
Delco.
Delco becoming like super popular now thanks to the mayor of Easttown? Sorry.
Yeah, Delco. Yeah, so that's about 25 minutes from him.
Okay.
And so he goes there and trains, and he has a bunch of matches coming up. And he actually had testicular cancer when we were 20. Got it removed fast, early.
Holy shit.
Yeah, my dad had it too. So
had
yeah.
I can't say that word. It
yeah, I don't
trickles
know
down
if it like
in family.
it came in the family or what, but he got checked out. We were doing jiu-jitsu all the time, and you'd always like knee cut pass, and he'd be like, it was kind of weird, and I was getting really inflamed, and then he went and took care of that. So life's fragile. Go out and get what you want. It's kind of what I learned with it.
So hold on. So isn't that not that you're supposed to get the same thing all the time because you're a twin, but did it freak you out a little bit thinking that I could also?
I got checked. We're fraternal twins, but I got checked. But I mean, it's serious. I mean, my dad had it too, and a lot.
But if
of
you
people,
catch it early these days, it's not.
Yeah, it's not as bad.
Risky as it used to be. I feel like
for sure. And it didn't spread. He did 1 round of chemo, and then he was good to go. And then he dived into jiu-jitsu pretty competitively after that. He's kind of all in with that, as am I with MMA. So it's cool.
So growing up, what were you like into? What was like family like at that time?
Family was good. Parents were divorced when I was pretty young, so there was always back and forth.
Oh, okay.
But they were close. My dad and mom always lived close to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And so me and my brother would go from the mom's to the dad's house back and forth, and it worked out. It wasn't too bad. And then actually we were 16. Me and my brother, we got into a fist fight. And I remember I hit him. He's on the bed, and he like up kicks at me, and I turn away, and I look. Boom! He blasts me with a punch. My nose is pouring blood. We're beating the shit out of each other, and I'm trying to leave the room. I'm teeing off on him. I go to leave the room. The door's jammed because I'm teeing off on him against the door. I can't let the door out. He's all banged up. My hand's all banged up.
Wait, how long ago was this?
16. I was 16 years old.
You were 16 years old?
Yeah. So I was 16 years old. We beat the shit out of each
It's an
other.
aggressive freaking fight.
Yeah. We fought like that a lot. I mean, blood, black eyes, bloody. We were pretty
You were sparring
pretty
partners.
aggressive. Yeah. So then I'm like, I call my dad. I'm like, Dad, I think I broke my hand. And he's like, well, your brother, he thinks he broke his hand too, and I'm taking him to the doctor now. So he goes to the doctor. John's hand's broke. So then I go to the doctor. My hand's broke. We both break our right hands, and we fought a lot. It wasn't like it was our first fight. We fought every couple weeks. I mean, we were pretty aggressive, and so now we're in school. We both look like dicks. We both have casts on our hands. Like, I thought your brother broke his hand. So there was that. And then I broke my hand again, hit him in the head again. And I was like, man, this is a little too much. I got to stop punching him. And so then I was 17, and I actually went into Jack's and trained for a little bit. No contact, just some bad classes, did some striking. And then I actually graduated high school, and I went to this party. It was... probably around Thanksgiving.
But, I'm sorry, not to cut you off, but did you do any wrestling or any martial arts? Nothing.
No sports.
What made you go into that gym to begin with?
Just kind of, I always watched MMA, and I was always kind of like, oh, I like this. Hit a bag growing up. I just was interested. I never played a sport really at all my whole life. I was kind of the stoner kid that rode a skateboard. I never did anything. Yeah.
Well, that's fun.
So I so then
I can see the transition from that to jiu-jitsu a little bit better.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know, it's something to me about skaters and stoners and jiu-jitsu that kind of...
It was just, we never had coaches, teammates, or anything. It was just me and my brother. I mean, we were best friends. We did everything together. So I was always busy. I was always, what are we doing today? True. Well, we were always together. And so then I walked into Jack's, trained a little bit. Then I kind of fell off. And then it was a Thanksgiving right when I graduated high school, right after. And there was this party, and all my friends came back from, college. One was in the military, and I was like, man, I'm still doing the same shit.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I stopped smoking weed, and I was like, all right, I'm going to go to the gym. My buddy Wes was training, and that's when I met Taylor right in the end of 2014. Okay. So then I started training from then on and haven't stopped.
So at that moment, you said, all right, the life change is going to be that I'm going to pursue fighting in that moment? Oh, wow.
I was like, I need to do something. I knew I wanted to fight MMA my whole life. I mean, it was always something I was passionate of, but the lack of sports, I never had a coach, a team. I mean, I couldn't do a push-up. I just didn't understand like a lot of simple stuff. Yeah. And so once my buddy Wes started training, it made me want to go and train. And I didn't want him to get better than me. Kind of became competitive. Yeah. And that's when I walked through the door and started training. I knew I needed to get good at something, and jiu-jitsu was what I had to get good at because the wrestlers are already established at that age. And
that's true. Yeah.
I didn't feel like striking was something that I could get experience right off the bat. Jiu-jitsu, it's cool because you can do a tournament in a couple months and do an early level and build the experience. Okay.
Wow. So did you feel like there was a natural like kind of talent there though when you were striking? Because some kids, like you see some kids, adults, anybody, sometimes even just hitting a bag and you're like, that person can do it. That person's probably not going to get much better.
Yeah. Yeah. Taylor will tell you. Yeah. He was like, I got right into a fight stance when he was there, and he was like,
got one thing.
Yeah. So it worked out, and I was really focused on jiu-jitsu in the beginning. I knew I needed a lot of experience in it before I tried to just say, oh, I want to fight MMA. Yeah. Because I didn't want to sit there and rush the process. I wanted 10 amateur fights, which I did. That was the goal I set. I didn't want to go 5 fights, 6 fights, and just go pro. I wanted to get as much experience as possible to make up for that time that I didn't have when I was younger, competing and training.
So how long, in what span did you do those amateur fights?
I did actually 2 kickboxing fights and 10 amateur MMA fights and just under 2.5 years. So I was very active. Yeah.
What was the record?
I went 8-2 in MMA amateur, 2-0 in kickboxing with 8 submissions and then 1 TKO in kickboxing. Then I lost 2 decisions early on. I was 1-2 as an amateur, then I went 8-2. And 2-0 in kickboxing.
Did you say submission in kickboxing?
No, I had 8 submissions. No, I had 8 submissions and my MMA career. Then I lost 2 decisions, and then I went 2-0 in kickboxing with the TKO.
You just freaked me out because I was like, did I not know that I just learned that in kickboxing you can submit somebody?
Yeah, so it was good. I just wanted to get a lot of experience in.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, 8 submissions. You do.
Yeah, 8 submissions.
Trust your jiu-jitsu.
Which. I mean, I immediately want to ask you about your last fight, but we'll baby step. Yeah. All right, so you get in your amateur career going. Family supportive at this point. Brother saying, "What the fuck? I want to be able to be the only one to punch you in the head."
Yeah, break my head. No? So my brother was always supportive. I think it kind of grew on my parents. I think, of course, your parents want you to have secure. Like, oh yeah, we know he'll be fine financially. If I was to leave, in the beginning, I didn't have anything. It was just like, I want to fight. Yeah. And I started off kind of rough being 1-2 as an amateur. I was like, this might not be working out. And kind of dialed all in. And my next fight was actually in my hometown. It was May 2018. And I was like, all right, this is cool. I trained really hard for it. And I actually went to they were called, it was at the POW dances. And it was at the Police Athletic League in Delaware. And so it was cool. I grew up going there every month for these POW dances. And then I'm fighting there, and it was a cool moment. I won, and then that's when I just kept the ball rolling with the win streak.
Because you just get that that like fire under you, probably
Yeah.
being at home, being in this place that you probably
Yeah.
kind of always wanted to do it.
I could walk there. It was great.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it
Oh,
was
damn.
close.
All right, well, that's also convenient.
Yeah.
Was Dad into watching fights and stuff with you growing up? Or
Not
Mom?
too much. My dad wasn't really too much into sports.
Okay.
Kind of why I guess I never really got into them.
Yeah.
And so not so much. Now he's definitely more interested. Yeah.
Do they go to the fights? Are they those type
Yeah,
of
yeah.
parents?
They go and they support. My dad actually flew up from Florida for the fights for April and May, so he was there. So it was good.
Oh, that's nice. Good.
Yeah.
Mom and Dad get along still, or not really?
Yes, no, depends.
Okay.
Depends the day and the mood, I guess.
My wife has the weirdest family ever because
Yeah.
they have all divorced and gotten new, husbands and wives, but they still all get along and they still all they
Yeah.
were just over for early Father's Day dinner last night at my house. But it's just like everybody just gets along beautifully. Now I grew up with just a sister and my parents like that. It was just always us four. So
Yeah.
I don't know what that's like. But the typical thing you assume is that the parents don't get along, therefore they split.
Yeah.
Anyway, her family's bizarre in that way, so I have to ask. All right, so then amateur fights. Your brother at this point is doing jiu-jitsu or no?
Yes, my brother started dialing in, I guess, right after summer of 2017, because that was right when he got through the chemotherapy for cancer. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he just did one round, and then he was dialed in, training hard for
Yeah,
that.
that's awesome for him.
Yeah, it was great.
I feel like I'm gonna look like a meme this whole episode because you give so many specific things that my brain's trying to organize and follow along with the timeline. So I apologize if I look a little out of it. Amateur fights. When do you see yourself going pro? When do you all right, I'm good. You got the 10 fights in,
Yeah.
and then you knew.
And then so it was that, and then also it was I wanted to go to Virginia. So Virginia has pro rules, elbows, knees to the head, everything's legal as an amateur.
As an amateur.
You could be a debuting amateur and have pro rules. So the guys down there are a lot more seasoned with those rule sets, whereas in Pennsylvania you can't even ground and pound to the head if you and your opponent both don't have 3 wins. In Delaware the rules are a little different. You can always ground and pound, you can always head kick, but you wear the shin sleeves over your legs, where I spent, I think I had 6 fights in Delaware. And I defended the title for Stellar Fights, good local show in Delaware. And I was like, yeah, I have to go to Virginia now, do pro rules before I go pro. I didn't want to rush it. I didn't want the first time I have a pro fight, a guy's throwing an elbow at me and being, whoa.
Yeah.
So I went down into Virginia for Cowboy Fight Series. Donald Cerrone ran it. It was pretty cool. And
is he still doing that?
I think they're coming back with the show soon.
Okay,
yeah,
so you were part of that?
Yeah, well, I did the 2 fights there. It was just like an all amateur show. There's
Yeah.
no pros or anything. And I did the fight in September. It was like a 4-man tournament. I did the fight in September. I won. I choked the guy out in the second round. And then I did the finals, and I won with a heel hook in 40-something seconds. So at that point, I knew I was going pro, and then COVID hit. So it kind of delayed the whole professional debut.
That sucks. When you turn pro, it's kind of just a decision, and then your team has to be behind it, right?
Yeah.
And then what else do you have to do to make that official?
Pretty much sign a contract, but each state has different.
But you have to be not be certified, but do you have to go through some licensing process or something?
Yes, and you have to have a certain record in certain states. Some states you could be a guy with 1 fight and go pro. Other states you have to have X amount of wins, or you have to have a good record. It all depends the state by state.
So do you have to? I feel very dumb in this part. Do you have to be licensed in every state to fight in that state? No, right? So you're licensed in Delaware?
Well, I fought in Pennsylvania, so I got registered in Pennsylvania. But every time you go and fight somewhere, you'll get registered there through our athletic commission. But it's a pretty simple process. It's not anything too.
Do you handle that, or does your team handle that, or whoever?
It's a paper. It's not anything.
It's not a big deal.
Much. Yeah.
I'm just curious, man.
Yeah,
What if I want to
too
take up
much.
fighting? I need to know the
Yeah.
rules. What do you mean, oof? Listen, I can do this. I can do 10 fights in a row, amateur,
Yeah. Then
and then
got it.
switch to pro. I'll be 45.
Yeah.
I'll support you, I guess.
Gotta get a good matchup. Just get a good matchup.
Can we rig these events so that way it benefits my? That's hilarious. So you decide to turn pro, you become pro, and then so you said COVID hit, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So then CFFC is where you've been.
Yeah, 2 fights with CFSC, and then I was supposed to fight for CFSC when I was going to fight Issa, who trains at More CAGESIDE.
Yeah, wasn't that you guys train together, basically?
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So
Do you get along?
Yeah, he's a great guy.
There's no beef?
No.
Can we start beef?
Nothing at all. It was great.
You said before the camera started rolling, you said Issa sucks. Let's start with that. It's the first thing you said when you walked in the room. I thought it was weird because you didn't even shake my hand. And the first thing you said was Issa sucks. I'm just fucking around. He seems like a good dude. I think we're gonna try to get him on as well. We're just running through the list of everybody that, because especially Rob actually texted me a list of like 3 guys to get on the show, and he was one of them. So I'll make sure I start beef when he comes against you. So, what was your first fight like in the CFSC?
Okay, so
how did that one go?
So, this dude. So I'm sitting there. I get to weigh-ins, and they got COVID. All these COVID regulations because it's April, and it's still pretty strict. I get to weigh-ins. I'm sitting in Jonathan Webb's car, and I'm 145 pounds. I'm dehydrated. All I want to do is drink.
Yeah.
And this guy comes over that Webb knew, and it was my opponent's coach.
Okay.
And he's like, "Yeah, my guy's heavy." And I guess he didn't realize that I was.
Was he a heavy smoker?
No, heavy like. Weight.
No, just the way you said it.
No,
yeah, he's heavy.
Well, it was just the way he was like. Well, he's like, that's how it sounded to me because
hey, Jonathan.
I'm so dehydrated, and he's like, "My guy's heavy," and I'm like, "All right." I was like, "That's my dude's coach," and I'm thinking, "Oh, great," because I'm sitting here so dehydrated.
Right, you feel like shit.
So then an hour and a half goes by. They're doing fight by fight to get in, to weigh in. And finally I get inside and my opponent's in there. And I'm looking at him. I'm like, he's not on weight. Like, not close.
He looked soft.
He just looked big.
Yeah.
And so we go to weigh in and he pulls his pants down. I mean, he still had his underwear on. That sounded kind of funny.
He walks in, he gets naked.
But he pulls his pants down and I'm looking at his legs and I'm like, dude, he's so over. Like, I could just tell he was so much bigger. And so he gets on the scale, and it's like 152 point something. So I'm like...
And you were supposed to fight at 145?
45. So that's, like, significant. Seven pounds is a lot. So I'm like, oh, this fight's getting scrapped. So I weigh in, and it's like 144 point, I think, 8, I believe I was.
Damn.
So I'm on weight, and then Greg Serb, the athletic director, commissioner, was like, you got to lose 2 pounds, and I'm familiar. They'll scrap fights over 3 pounds, 4 pounds, 5 pounds. I've never really heard of anyone being over that and getting the fight approved. So I'm like, please don't cancel the fight. I want to fight. I don't care what he weighs. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care if he's 170.
Because this is your debut.
Yeah,
you've been waiting long enough.
Waiting. My dad flew up from Florida. I'm ready to go. I sold all these tickets. It's been 16 months since I fought last. COVID. I'm ready to go. I don't care.
Yeah. So
I walk outside, and Coach John's out there, and he's like, "We're taking the fight, and we're taking his money." I'm like, "Yeah." So
I'm sorry. So does the CFFC do the same thing as UFC, where if you miss weight, you lose?
You get a percentage.
You get a percentage. Okay.
So I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna take."
Is this the dude?
Yeah, he was big. He was big compared.
Now, have you ever been? Be honest. Have you ever, even in amateurs, have you ever been like, "Oh no, there's no fucking way. This guy looks huge," and then they weigh in and they're the right amount of weight? And you're like, God damn it.
You can always kind of tell. I feel like you get an eye for it too over time. Like asking, "Oh, what's your weight?" Well, like going with so many guys, you're kind of
guess my weight. You said you got good at it. You won't hurt my feelings. Maybe you will. This should be a new segment. Guess my weight. No, that is a trap.
80 something.
See? No, not even 208.
208.
208. When these guys come through the show and they tell me they fight at like 170 and you guys are fucking huge, I'm like, well, I'm simply too heavy.
Yeah, it's just because you're. I guess I don't know. Maybe I'm not.
These shirts hide muscles. That's sorry.
Yeah, but yeah, he was pretty much like I could tell he was way over, and I was like, well, whatever. I'm taking the fight. Yeah. So I take the fight, and the guy didn't apologize even when he missed weight. Doesn't say a word. I'm like, all right, you're a dick.
Yeah.
So, and I was lucky they didn't scrap the fight. I mean, most fights get scrapped. I'm sitting there eating afterwards, and I'm like, I hope he lost the 2 pounds that Serb wanted him to lose. But he didn't. He just went back in and was like, oh, I'm this. And maybe he wanted the fight to get scrapped or something just so he could go back home.
Where's he? Do you know where he was from?
Albany, New York.
Fucking Albany.
Yeah. So then So then the fight happens, plays out, and I drop him with within the first minute or maybe just after.
Oh, really?
TKO him, and then I'm hovering over top of him. And
Now I remember where you got so aggressively.
Yeah. So I wasn't emotional in the fight, but afterwards I'm like, yeah, it's time to talk that shit. So I'm like,
this may all make sense now. Somebody posted that clip a bit ago, and I'm like, this guy wants to come to the show. Yeah. He's aggressive as fuck.
Yeah. I mean, it's
guy gets knocked.
Yeah, I'm a good guy. I mean, it's just like if you're gonna disrespect me and miss weight, I'm gonna play you after I beat you. Yeah. So then I just hovered over him and I said something like, you missed weight. Then I was like, this is my shit. And like screamed it in his face, and the camera picked it up, the voice microphone. And it was pretty loud. But then I screamed at him. He walked away and I went about my day.
Listen, I applaud you. I like that to me. Well, first of all, he well deserved, right? It wasn't like you were just being an asshole about it and just screaming for no reason, you know. But that pumps me up, man.
Yeah.
That's like, all right, he wanted that win, you know.
Yeah. So it was good. I was happy with the fight, and it was cool to show off my striking and a lot of stuff I've been working on in Philly with Coach John and everyone up there.
Yeah.
Because a lot of like I said, all my wins were submissions as an amateur, and it wasn't like I was just submission hunting the whole time. I mean, I was always working my stand up. It was good to show it.
When you crack somebody and you know it's about to end, do you like the adrenaline has to be huge at that moment?
Yeah, I hit him with the left hand and like rolled, and I seen him buckle. I was like, oh, I got this motherfucker.
Yeah.
And then I just like went in on him, and he like tried to like give me his arm when I took his back and went back to mount. I was like, I don't want an arm bar. Like I just kept punching him in his face. I don't want the submission. I was pissed.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's the shot I dropped him with.
That's got to be such a good feeling to land it and just know that everything you put at work before the fight is kind of paying off in that split second.
Yeah, it's fast. I always explain a fight like a car accident.
Right.
You see it the fight week, you see the collision about to happen. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. Get ready to brace yourself. And when that moment comes, you have to be ready for it.
Yeah.
Some people fold under the pressure. Some people, let's go.
Yeah.
You know, I'm the type of guy, let's go.
Yeah.
I'm ready for the accident. It's just a collision.
That's a great, by the way, that's a great description. I always see it in my head as like, some movies do it really well when they show like fights or whatever, where they like speed it up to a point where it's like very hard to even follow what the fuck's going on, and then it just slows down and then comes back again.
Yeah.
Is that close? Does it feel?
Yeah, it's just,
you know what I mean. Like, does it feel like in fast mode, like in fast forward?
It's just so fast paced the whole day, but it's slow. It's like, oh, I'm warming up.
Yeah.
It's fast but slow. It's a weird experience, but I never wake up until Monday. I'm like, oh, I won. Like,
what does
it takes
that mean?
a couple days.
What does that mean?
Set
in?
Yeah, it just takes a couple days just because you're getting ready for this moment, and I just feel like I never wake up until if I fight Saturday, like Monday morning. I'm like, oh yeah, I won.
Right. So Sunday you're not like thriving
I'm still
and like
high on adrenaline. I'm usually a little hungover. I usually drink after, so
my dude.
It's just.
I did offer you whiskey and you said
no.
I'm training. I'm trying to be healthy.
Yeah.
I'm training too, bro. I got to cut down 20 pounds based on what you weighed me at.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. So then you fight, you celebrate, but it doesn't settle in until Monday where you're
about Monday morning. Yeah.
And then are you immediately pumped to get back in the gym?
Yeah, I want to go again. I want to get a fight booked again. Sometimes I'm a little banged up. Both the last two camps weren't the best camps. I kind of got hurt, both of them 4 weeks out.
What'd you hurt? If you can share.
I got cut, the one pretty bad, 8 stitches, and I hurt my body. I'll just leave it at that. But it's better now. But
my body.
It was I'll just leave it at that.
Very specific, bro.
Yeah, I just hurt my body.
I get it.
But yeah, so I was banged up for both of them. But no fight camp's perfect. No fight's perfect. That's the game we're in.
It would be eerily weird if it goes like too perfect, right?
Yeah.
You almost kind of feel like you need to have those growing pains throughout the thing to actually perform at your best in that moment. All right, so then how far between the first fight and the second fight?
8 weeks.
8 weeks.
Yeah. So I was like, I want to fight again. I didn't want to take too much time off. It was May 29th. My birthday was the following weekend. I was like, I want to knock one out before my birthday.
When's your birthday, June?
June 6th. 6/6/96.
I don't do quick math.
Nice birthday. Easy to remember. And so I was like, I want to knock one out right before my birthday, and got matched up with dude Bo. Yeah, that guy. So this guy's
Doesn't
like,
seem like you like this guy either.
no, I
What
don't
did he
know
do to
why.
you?
I feel like I'm a good dude. I mean, I joke a lot.
But you hate all these opponents.
These guys were. I don't know.
Yeah, I saw the clip.
This guy was a douche. This guy.
He was a douche?
This guy. Yeah, this dude. So.
By the way, there's something about when you say this guy,
Yeah.
not you in general, but like when somebody says like this guy, it's like
Yeah,
nobody
this
fucking likes
guy.
that guy.
Yeah. So all these comments on social media when that video came out, where I was like, "This is my shit."
Yeah.
His teammates are saying stuff. His people's a bunch of stuff. People from his gym area, Chicago, were saying stuff. Then I go on YouTube and I click that. Same thing on the CFSC's video on YouTube. Same thing. People saying stuff. I'm like,
The same stuff about you?
about me, yeah. You're gonna be fighting Bo. That's the Bo this, Bo that. That's not gonna happen. Bo. And they're all saying. I'm like, okay, well that's his friends. That's not him. So
Can I stop you and compliment you for two things? Your
Yeah.
impressions are fucking awesome.
yeah,
The smoker coach
Yeah.
and Bo's friends.
yeah.
Makes me
So
not like him either.
then, he hasn't said anything. So I was like, all right. So he just has a lot of dickhead friends. That's what I
Yeah.
just assumed, which is cool. I mean, I got supporters too. So I go to weigh-ins, we square off, and they're like, face forward for the picture. I face forward, and he's just staring at me still. So I'm thinking, I'm fucking hungry, dude. I don't care.
Right.
I'll
Can't
stare at
read.
you tomorrow, and I'll whoop your ass. Like, I don't need to sit there and meathead you at weigh-ins.
Yeah.
So I looked forward. I was like, oh, this guy's a dick. So then it's fight day, and I never, like, said anything. No words were said. So it's fight day, and we're up in the back, and I'm warming up, and then we start walking down the steps, and he's sitting there warming up, or he walks out first. I'm behind him. Did you see the video of us staring at each other?
I did.
I don't think I
Like two fucking
posted it.
sharks
Yeah,
just circling.
and
Somebody else posted, I think. On, I think
I think it was on
Brady or Sabatini or somebody. So.
I think maybe Arias. If you
Yes,
follow- I
it
think
was Arias.
maybe
It was
posted
Arias.
it. Yeah, Garcia. Yeah, I think maybe
Yeah.
he posted it. I believe. I think so. Maybe it was only on Facebook he posted it.
Yeah.
On Facebook he definitely shared it. But
It's all good, but it was basically you two,
In the back.
12 feet away in the back, basically.
yeah, right
just,
before we walk out.
Yeah.
So
That
he's
awkward as shit.
staring at me. So I'm growing him back. I mean, we're fighting.
Now we can look at each other,
Yeah.
motherfucker.
So then he starts talking a bunch of shit, and he's like, they can't save you, blah blah blah. Then this guy has like the hole in the towel with like the Mike Tyson thing. I'm like,
Oh, Bo.
I was like,
Oh,
oh,
no.
Bo, yeah, yeah, we got Iron Bo over here.
Iron Bo.
Yeah, so I'm like, and then Daniel's like, you're going to sleep, motherfucker. Like says it like in the background. But like
Another
not too
good
loud.
impression.
Not too loud, but it was just funny. And we're staring at each other about 15 minutes, maybe a little longer, but us just grilling each other back and forth. So that goes on. He walks out to the cage. I get in the cage, and obviously, like, I'm not touching your glove. I just walked out and blasted him with a kick. You know, I didn't really care. I was like, we're not boys at all. So I blasted him with a few kicks, scored the takedown, and I remember when I got on his back, I was like, well, we're still pretty dry.
Perfect time.
And I started choking him. He started gurgling, and
Did you want to take his head with you, or?
yeah, I took it back to Delaware. And so we hit the ground, and he like, did you see the video of him punching the ref? Like, when
No.
didn't
I
see it?
missed that. Why the fuck
It's
did he
on
punch the
it's
ref?
on Twitter. You can.
Oh,
find
because he
it,
was
yeah.
out and then he woke
He
up.
hit Keith Peterson. He's like a pretty well-known.
Nobody
ref.
fucking hits Keith Peterson.
Yeah, you can find the video somewhere.
Only
but-
whiskey and cigarettes.
Yeah, he like hit Keith Peterson. Like I think he was trying to tap or like reach or something, and hit Keith Peterson, and then he went unconscious. So when he went unconscious, I like screamed in his face like "Woo!" And I was like, "Welcome to Philly, bitch!" And then I just walked away, and that's what it was. Shook his hand, and then go back to Chicago. Have a good one.
Damn. Well, that was first round, correct?
Yeah, first a minute and
I was
or
gonna
2
say
minutes and a second.
it was
2 minutes and a
okay.
second. Yeah.
So how does that? First of all, where did Keith Peterson get hit?
Kind of like in his head.
He got punched in his head, and he took it.
Yeah, it was like a little guy, but yeah, right here you'll just see him. Look, it has a good amount of views. What's it have? 100.
Wait, why did he?
Because I think he just didn't know what was going on. Then he just took a nap.
Oh, so he thought
I think he just,
his face was your face?
Yeah, I don't think he knew what was happening. And he's
Yo, that's funny as shit.
Then he went to sleep.
Maybe he was trying to get Keith to help him or something. He's like, motherfucker. That is so funny. I mean, it's not funny, but wow.
Good amount of views too.
Motherfucker tried to hit me, but he went to sleep. Haha.
Yeah, I think that's like.
Is that what Keith Peterson said?
But I don't think that's his real account. I think people just troll. But like it has.
Oh,
a lot
is that
of
a Keith
followers.
Peterson troll account?
But it has a lot of followers, so I mean, it looks.
It's
cool.
as good as is.
I mean, there's 182,000 views.
Damn, bro, you became famous for Keith Peterson getting hit in the head. That's a
Yeah.
hilarious quote too. But he went to sleep. That's great.
Yeah.
What gave you more pleasure? Choking out Bo or knocking out the other fellow? Or both?
Both sweet in different ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think, like, after the fights, do you think back and kind of analyze what you did and compare fights to other fights and kind of rate how your finish was, your performance was, or like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, do you ever think backwards, or are you always like just next fight?
Next fight, I'll retire one day and kind of be
And
like,
look back.
woo, yeah, this and that. But I'm kind of just focused on the next thing and constantly looking forward.
I just wonder if you relish in like, yeah, fuck Bo again, like once in a
Yeah.
while. No.
I just laugh, chuckle about it, and just go. You don't read a book backwards. It's kind of
Yeah.
like something I always like thinking about in my head. You don't read a book backwards. Just keep flipping the pages and going forward.
You're a very smart, well thought fella, man.
Thank you. Yeah.
Your career has been very well thought out so far,
Yeah.
and you have great quotes and impressions. So now you must continue to yell in people's faces when you finish them. You know that's your thing.
Yeah, but I'm not.
You're a nice guy. I know. You've said
Yeah,
this.
it's just how I've gotten matched up. I guess.
You've
I
gotten
mean,
two bad opponents.
if someone wants to shake my hand, I'm gonna shake your hand. I'm not gonna talk shit prior to the fight. I'm gonna say I'm gonna win, and this is how I'm gonna win. But I'm not gonna disrespect someone. I mean,
Yeah.
But if you give me a reason to, I'm going to.
Just don't wear the Iron Mike Tyson.
Yeah, it was
towel,
kind of bad.
unless
It's like
you're
the
ready.
towel thing, and I was just like, well, I kind of couldn't really tell. I was like, he's really wearing a towel with a hole in it.
Yeah.
Like, and I think he walked out to like Rocky music.
I've said this
I
before.
think he walked out. I
We
believe it
just
was
talked
Rocky.
about this.
We just talked about it on Monday. Well, first of all, I suggested people wear the Tyson towel over the ridiculous outfits. But now I take that back 100%. I meant simplicity is better. But I talked about the cheesy fucking music.
Yeah,
Like, don't come out to Rocky or don't come out to
I mean,
Terminator.
I come out to Run This Town, Rihanna, Jay-Z every time. You know, Coach John was probably, he said something like, the music dropped the first time, and I've walked out to it, I think, a dozen times, and he was like, this is the song? Like, and then, I mean, he didn't say it to me, I think he said it to Daniel, and then I just kept walking. I mean, this is my song.
That's your song for every fight.
Run This Town, yeah.
Does it because it pumps you up or because
And I think it just gets me, now that I've fought so much to it, it kind of hits that trigger.
Right, we're about to go.
Yeah, it's something, even if I just listen to it in the car, I get in fight mode because I have all these past experiences that turn that switch right when I hear the song. So
I pray to God nobody's driving in front of you and that song comes on the radio.
yeah, I'm ready to go.
Move, motherfucker! This is my
Yeah.
song. I'm ready.
Yeah,
to go.
it's a little, it's Rihanna in the beginning, but Jay-Z.
Oh no,
comes
but
in
it
and
builds
saves
up.
the
It builds
day.
up. He
Yeah,
does. Nothing
so-
wrong with Rihanna. I mean, she hasn't
Yeah.
done anything in 20 years, but
Yeah.
Hey.
I like
But yeah,
Rihanna.
I also like him from Chicago coming to Philly.
With Rocky music, he
I
probably
think
thought it was
Rocky.
really.
I think it was Rocky. I'm like 90% sure.
But he probably thought it was super clever. Like, I'm gonna get in this motherfucker's head and play the Rocky song.
I'm from
and,
Delaware.
And whoop it.
Yeah, here, get the scissors. Let me cut this hole in the towel. Come on, let me cut it. Yeah, and I'm like,
Is this the ref? I mean, the coach from the other guy?
I
who
mean,
came
I
in
guess
and we
he
gave
had
him
to
to
have
cut
cut
the
the hole
towel.
in the towel somewhere. I'm like, I don't know how anyone on his team let him put that shit on. I would have ripped that off. If that was my boy, I'm like, look, you're not going out like that, dude. Take that shit right off.
See, that I always say. I said that, I'm telling you, you're like piggybacking on what I said before. I'm like, do these people not have friends that tell them, bro, you're very corny right now. You need to take a step back and analyze your choices in life.
Yeah, it was bad.
So, do you like cats?
Yeah, I have 2 cats.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a cat guy. I'm a cat dad. Down in there somewhere.
I only bring
There
that
they
up.
are. Yeah, that's my girlfriend Alyssa, and that's her
is
two
that the
cats.
sweetest picture ever?
Yeah, you can't be in fight mode every day.
I'm suggesting a new change of plans when you walk out. I say you walk out with a turtleneck sweater and a cat.
Yeah.
That'll be a fucking that'll get you hits.
Confuse your
Yeah.
opponent.
What's that?
You're just confused.
Maybe a cat on a leash.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be right.
Yeah.
See, you're already
Yeah.
thinking about it. This might work.
Yeah, I like my cats. They're a little less of a priority. Dogs too much. It's my girlfriend likes them. Melissa, they're good. About a year old.
Or do you guys have separate cats and they like?
No, they're sisters. No, they're both of ours. But we have a little apartment. They're on each other the whole time. They wrestle and play. They're cool.
Yeah, my cats are great. I have a cat and a dog. Our cat's like a mini cat, and she's old as shit now.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's like a midget. She's like this big. Okay. But I feel bad. I don't know why I'm talking about my cat for the next 2 minutes, but we brought in a dog during COVID.
Yeah.
And I feel bad because the cat's now been pushed to like the upstairs because she's too frail to like have the fucking dog pound on her because she doesn't know how heavy she is. So the cat's in prison and she will be there for the rest of her life because we have no choice.
Yeah.
So I do feel bad. But cats are way easier than fucking dogs, man.
Way easier.
So much fucking easier. Dogs are... This morning, I heard my wife yell. And I went downstairs. And my dog had taken a pillow bigger than that. And decided to take everything out of the inside. Just all over the fucking floor. I'm like, why? Why can't you just chill the fuck out? Why do you have to break everything with a hangy thing? Anyway.
Yeah.
So
they're cool.
Yeah, my dog's 14, so we haven't had the puppy phase in a very long time.
I'm just worried that the puppy phase is never going to go away.
It will.
Okay, I hope.
It might take like 8 years, but like...
Oh, fun. Oh, great. She's so chill until she does something bad. And you're like, fuck. Here we go again. Anyway, team cats all the way. Just okay. All right, so I think we've covered all the bases of family, fighting, cats.
Yeah.
Did I miss anything? Should we ask Petrosky if I missed any important banger questions?
Let's say, well, what's next?
What was he in the back last night?
I'm gonna get there.
What was Andre in the back?
He was over there interrupting the interview with Chris, asking the important questions. Well, who do you want to fight next?
We were talking about the top 10.
Yeah. No, he was a great guest. So what's next?
I don't know yet. Just definitely 2 more towards the end of the year. I want to end the year 4-0. That's my goal.
Okay.
I set that in the beginning of the year, so that's what I want to continue to do. Just knock 2 more out by the end of the year and enjoy the holidays. That's the goal. No dates yet. Nothing set in stone or anything at all. But I think I'll be able to get 2 more in.
Does the CFFC have events planned for the whole year kind of ahead of time? Like they block them out or no?
I believe so, yeah.
So you kind of maybe know the months that you could fight?
They're like every month now. I mean, they're blowing up.
Yeah, it's coming more often.
Yeah, they're pretty consistent now. They're blowing up.
And they put on a good show. So
yeah, great show.
Are you going to the July 3rd fight?
Yes, I'll be there, yeah.
Is there still tickets for that? I need to get tickets for that.
I think so.
Probably, yeah.
Okay. How does that... without getting in the business side of things. All fighters push their own tickets?
Yeah, you just get like a 20% from each ticket you sell. So that's pretty standard. So it just depends, but I don't know the restrictions in Philly. Are they still restrictions?
I think it's fully open.
Yeah, because they were limited.
Yeah.
Even the May 29th, so...
Was the last fight tables? Is this still tables or is it full, just individual chairs?
Yeah, we were sitting in rows.
In rows?
Rows, yeah.
So then that's better because that allows for more seating, obviously.
Rows and then VIP tables, but...
Well then.
Yeah, you couldn't even make any money. People were like, "Oh, they sold out a ticket." Like it sucks. The whole COVID thing sucked.
Yeah.
People are like, "Oh, I don't have a ticket. I never got a ticket." I'm like, "Well, I'm sorry. Like, it's sold out. There's only 300 tickets."
Sorry, Bo.
Yeah, Bo.
Can't watch me fight again. I want to go to July 3rd fight. I gotta get tickets. But then, so 2 fights before the year's over. So what's the future plans? Like, where do you see yourself after 5-6 fights? Are you trying to get into the UFC?
Yeah.
Like, that's the goal?
Yeah, I believe if you're gonna fight, it's to go all in. Life's short.
Yeah.
Take the risk. Why not?
Does anybody ever like get professional fights, right? Like, and somebody in your place and then look forward to getting to Bellator?
No, I don't think so. No, I mean,
Not to shit on Bellator, but it's funny, right?
The money, I guess, is right, and I guess it just depends where you're at in your career, and
That's what I'm saying. But like,
it just depends.
Starting out, you don't ever.
Yeah, some people like get in early. They do like because they'll sign some low guys like 1-0, 2-0 debuts sometimes.
Yeah,
they can build up too, but I don't think so. I want to fight in the UFC, not Bellator.
Because I feel bad. Like sometimes I'll see, news about Bellator come out, and I'm like, I don't ever talk about Bellator.
Yeah.
But that was Elise fought in Bellator, and they messed up her whole stat card.
Yeah, that's how she became a breakdancer.
Everything was wrong. The breakdancing.
Yeah.
So.
But there's definitely, good opportunities there. It's not terrible. And also a lot of the guys that are already established, the main card slots, they do well with pay. Yeah. It's not terrible.
But it's a good show. Like it's a well put on, and now it's on Showtime, and like it's a legit operation. It's just funny to me that like it's almost like you growing up as a baseball player and you see yourself going into the major leagues.
Yeah.
You don't see yourself going into like double A or whatever. I don't watch baseball.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? Like it's just.
Yeah, your average person doesn't know what Bellator is.
Right.
So it's like, I fight in Bellator, and they're like,
oh. They're like, aw.
Yeah.
Is your career almost over?
But you could be doing good. It's just people don't.
For sure.
UFC is just number one.
Well, man, I can't wait to see you fight. Let us know, obviously, when your next fight is.
Yeah.
Do we have any current events or any? I know the fights this weekend I kind of shit on last time. But
this isn't current events, but this is just selfishly because you're a bouncer.
Okay. Oh yeah, I forgot to ask you about that.
What is like the?
She did bring this up several times, and I completely forgot.
I got a lot of stories. Some are a little extreme. Some are.
Let's start with those. Wait, so when did you become a bouncer?
So I was 21, and I had like 2 fights. So I walk in the bar, and my buddy, it's in Delaware, it's in Wilmington, and my buddy worked there, so he got me a job, and I'm like, whoa, this is kind of different. I never really went out to the bars. I was training since I was 18, so I never experienced that kind of life.
Yeah.
And see all these people just getting drunk, and I'm like, oh, I guess this is what people do.
Yeah.
And so the first story of me, them seeing me. So I'm bouncing, and a fight breaks out, and I'm like, well, shit. I don't really. I know what to do, but I don't.
Right.
So
did they give you like not a guidebook, but did they tell you like what you're allowed and not allowed to do, so that way the business doesn't get in trouble?
Yeah, they swing, you swing, and
oh damn.
Try to walk them out. We don't want to have the issues, but a fight broke out, so it's about to get aggressive.
Yeah.
So I put this guy in a seatbelt, like head and arm. I'm not choking him, and he's pretty tall, so I'm holding him up, or I'm reaching up to hold him, and he's so big. He's moving. So I'm like, well, I guess I'm just gonna choke him unconscious. I don't know what to do. So I put him in a rear naked, and he drops so fast, probably 1, 2, and he's unconscious, and I'm like,
whoops.
Well, this is different. So he hits the ground, and I look up, and the bartender's looking at me like. So then I drag him out the front door. He's unconscious, and he starts waking up. So I just put him to sleep again, and I'm like looking at him, and he's like Crow Cop. Do you ever seen like Merc? His knees bent, and I'm like, oh shit, like. I guess this is what I should have done. Yeah. I don't know. I just didn't know what to do.
I diffused the situation.
So I just put him to sleep again. So I'm like hovering over top of him. The fight's still breaking out. I don't want someone to fall on his face. I mean, he's not awake. And so then he like wakes up and then just like runs down the steps and runs away. It never came back or anything. We kicked all the other group. It was a pretty big fight.
Yeah.
All broke out. And but yeah, that was my first experience like putting someone to sleep that. It wasn't training. It was real. So
that's really funny to me, the visual of that, because it seems like you were panicked and you don't know what to do, so you're like, put him to sleep again.
Yeah.
And the guy just
and he was
and then wakes up again. Hold on.
He was 200. He was 6'4", 200. I'd say 50. He was big. I was like reaching up.
I don't believe you because I don't think you're very good at judging people's weight.
Well, your weight was a little. I'm sitting down. I couldn't tell. He was big. I couldn't even. I was like reaching up to choke him, but
the seatbelt? That's a move. That's an actual move.
It's I think.
But if the guy's
not a choke, it's just if you have a head head and then an underhook. So if instead of the choke, my left arm was just around and then my right arm was underneath of his arm.
Right.
So that's just a seatbelt. I was just doing it to hold
him. But
Yeah.
if he's in the middle of a fight, you're still leaving his arms loose.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, if he elbowed back, but I was just like, I don't know what to do.
No, he could have continued fighting forward.
Yeah, well, I was pulling him back. I pulled myself to the wall.
Oh,
and then I was like, I guess I just put him to sleep. But then I was dragging him out the door because the goal is to get him out the door, down the steps, then you're not our problem. Like, that's kind of the goal there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's
Way to go, club, and adding steps to the mix, by the way.
Well, the steps are great. Steps are great.
Put them down.
That's happened. But there's 5 solid steps, and once you get the problem down, they got to look up at you. So it's like, okay, so what are you going to do? Walk up the steps? I mean...
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stories on the steps. But the steps are great because I'm not face-to-face with you after I kick you out the bar. So
Right.
The steps are cool.
You have some time to deal with it.
Yeah, the steps are great.
And you can always just kind of push them.
Oh, a lot of those little front kicks, little push kicks. Yeah, they go the wrong way.
I kind of want to go to this club. It's got to suck to be, well, not suck to be sober, but it's got to be very frustrating and annoying to deal with drunk people all the time while you're completely sober and just working.
Yeah, and it just, there's great people there, but I'm like, this is not how I want to, this is not what I want to do when I'm, let's go to the bar. Let's go to the bar. Like, I don't want to do that every day. That's, every once in a while, but I'm like, this is pretty repetitive with some of the people.
And is it a club or a bar?
It's a bar, but it's pretty big. There's 3 bars in the bar. It's a pretty big size bar.
Yeah, 3 bars in the bar.
Yeah.
It's a fucking...
Yeah, there's one upstairs, out
operation.
back, and then inside. So It's been there since, I think, 1864.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's like one of the oldest bars in it's like an old bar.
Yeah.
It's pretty well known. But yeah, it's cool. Just do that on the weekends, and it keeps me busy. And
so you still do that?
Yeah, it keeps me social, so I like doing it. I enjoy it. I get out, I get my social fix, and then I go and train.
Now, are you inside the place, or are you at the door?
I put the schedule out, so I usually put someone else at the door. I kind of just walk around and make sure everything's running smooth.
Yeah.
But the door's kind of those steps. I mean, the door's where all the problems leave. So the door's kind of something you always have to keep your eye on.
Yeah. Now, how many other bouncers are at this spot?
Pre-COVID, 6 with a couple bar backs, sometimes 7.
Do you guys get along?
The
bouncers?
Yeah, we're all cool.
I only ask because sometimes some bouncers, speaking of the douchey people, they really like being a bouncer, and they're walking around like they're about to explode. Yeah, they had the shirt that says something on the back. Do you say security?
Yeah. I would rather hire a small guy that doesn't have those traits. I can't deal with guys that are
complete muscle heads.
It's like, come on, man.
Yeah, we were in a restaurant up in Long Branch with the kids and everything, and we went to dinner at 7. Well, that fucking place becomes a nightclub.
Yeah.
By the time we're wrapping up dinner. And what a buzzkill for them it must be to see kids eating chicken tenders on the table. Yeah. And they're tight skirts and everybody thinking they look cool. But anyway, the bouncers started coming in and you could just feel that energy. Macho energy. I'm like, oh, fucking, I'm out of here. This fucking sucks. So not those type of guys though at your place?
No, right. They're all good guys, all good.
Any other fighters?
Taylor actually worked there. A couple other guys.
Taylor didn't tell us that.
But he stopped right after COVID and then hasn't came back. But yeah, me and Taylor used to have some good times there, and a bunch of other guys. But I'm the only one now, the only fighter now there.
Do they all look towards you for if shit breaks down?
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of it is just trying to get a guy to leave and not have an issue. We haven't had really any issues since COVID. Really at all. It's been pretty easy. I think those type of people kind of faded out. So it's good. But yeah, I mean, if something's gonna go down, if I'm there, we're in a good spot.
I just feel like everybody would be like, "Ooh, let's see what he does now."
Yeah.
Which one is gonna go to sleep tonight?
It's free fight.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've heard in the background oh, he's a UFC fighter. The people they don't
make
know.
Shit up.
And they just get all hyped if I'm kicking someone out or something's happening. So
plus people also think that MMA is UFC, UFC is MMA.
Yeah.
So
when people say that, I'm like, that's like calling football NFL. It's MMA.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense.
But you say he's an NFL player,
yeah,
not a football player.
I guess that's.
Oh,
yeah, I guess that's,
I don't know. I don't know why I debated you on that, but no, it sounds ridiculous.
Yeah, everyone's like, UFC fight. It's like,
yeah. Well, I think fighting is so popular, and then you slowly realize how, like, outside of the bubble, it's not. It's still not, wide.
Some people have no idea.
They have no
like some people,
clue.
I go out there and the conversations, they have no idea.
Yeah.
And it just blows my mind how, like, a lot of people don't realize, like, how vulnerable they are.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you get put in a situation, like,
Yeah.
you're beat. Like,
Right.
I mean, what are you gonna do?
You're like, life is fragile for you.
yeah. People get really drunk, and I'm like, you're kind of, or they get real. Like, I'm the one that everyone wants to fight if I'm bouncing. Because look at me. I mean, if I'm sitting there and telling you to leave, and there's a big guy next to me, and you're gonna get an argument with someone, you're gonna start coming at me. I mean, that's just what it is.
Because you're smaller than the other
Because I'm
guys?
small.
Maybe
yeah.
it's because you're mocking them with your awesome impressions.
Yeah, my
that's why they
impressions
want
are-
to fight you.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, what are you, drunk?
Yeah. Come back tomorrow. Have a good one.
I learned, I think, a long time ago watching boxing that the muscles should never intimidate you as much as the quiet person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you see a bouncer with all those muscles, they want to look good. They want to look so
Yeah.
good for themselves and for whoever
Yeah.
else. I'm not too worried about that guy.
Yeah.
I'm more worried about the quiet assassin.
Yeah.
Speaking of quiet assassin, do you have a nickname, a fighting nickname?
Lionheart, but with a Y.
Oh, you do
'cause
have
Lions,
Lionheart.
Yeah, so.
You and Smith. God damn it.
Yeah.
Trying to make
But
things
it's with a
confusing.
Y.
I
It's with a
know.
Y.
I
It's a little
know,
different.
I know.
Yeah, Taylor would always call me that, so that's what I went with.
Anthony Smith or Lionheart?
Lionheart.
Oh.
Lionheart, so I went with it. No.
What's up, Smith?
No. Yeah, so I went with it.
But yours makes sense because of your name.
Yeah.
Anthony Smith just fucking chose it.
Yeah. And sometimes when people have a nickname, and I'm like, did someone give you that nickname, or did you just make that shit up? Because I hate when people, like, make up a nickname. It's like, if someone doesn't give you it, you can't really just make it your nickname.
I agree.
I feel like.
I agree.
Yeah.
That's a hard thing to do. First of all, for you to think that you should give yourself a nickname is already fucked. That's a weird thing to do. Like, are you looking in the mirror like, I look like a Lionheart? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, it should definitely come from a teammate.
Yeah.
And then you all kind of agree, like, all right, let's stick with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Borel's the roller coaster. What the fuck? It's not the roller coaster. High roller. He got it from the movie. He said from rock and roller. That's what he is. The rock and roller. Look at how active he is on social media.
He's not private. Or maybe he is, but I don't
No,
know.
he is, but you find him.
But yeah.
Anyways, show me the fight. Is for the fights for this weekend, real quick. Did you get? By the way, are you follow box? Do you talk? Do you like to talk about fighting?
Yeah,
Or not
I'll
really?
talk about fighting.
Because some fighters are like, I don't want to talk about fighting.
Not this
Did you see the
far.
Deontay Wilder Tyson Fury's 5-minute face-off?
No, I did not.
Very awkward. I could not stand in front of somebody quiet and look at him for 5 minutes. Anyway, Korean Zombie fights Aigi. Do you watch a lot of UFC?
Yeah, I do, especially 45. I just always keep. I'm more of like a fan of like people towards my weight, 35, 45, 55.
I just said, do you watch a lot of UFC? Kind of like people who say MMA.
Well, yeah.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah.
My bad.
all good.
Do you watch a lot of fighting? Is what I meant to say.
Yeah. It's hard though for me to be as much of a fan now that I'm in the world. I'm more of like it's like July 3rd, CFFC. Like I'm more of a fan of people that I know.
That you know. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah. You get pumped for your teammates and stuff.
Yeah.
Does this fight card do anything for you?
Keep going down. Let's see if there's
The
any.
answer is no.
Matt Brown's on the card. To be honest, I can't even say I know. I mean, I know. I think Marlon Vera.
Yeah, Cheeto Vera.
Or is it Cheeto or Marlon? Whatever one.
Yeah, well, that's his nickname.
Yeah.
He gave it to himself.
Yeah, I mean, I
don't know
think it's
any of these
There's
people.
a lot of foreign guys on the cards. It's kind of hard for me to remember a lot of the names.
Yeah, I know. I know Vera.
I believe this is a rematch. Marlon Vera, Davey Grant. See if that's a rematch.
Well, Vera lost his last fight, I think.
I think that is a rematch.
Who did he do really good against?
Sean O'Malley.
Oh, he beat Sean O'Malley. Correct.
Yeah.
You like Sean O'Malley?
I do.
Me too.
Yeah, I like Sean O'Malley. I think he markets himself well and he sells himself, and I think a lot of people like hate on that, but it's like people don't want to watch you. It doesn't matter how good you are.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did
Davey
you?
Grant won the decision.
That's his
they
last.
did.
So he won the last fight. Okay.
Yeah, they fought before.
Because that derailed him because O'Malley was such a big star, and Vera beat O'Malley.
Yeah, well, no, this was 2016. They're rematching.
Oh, that's
this
not who he
weekend.
last fought.
Yeah, no, that's 2016 they fought.
Ew.
I guess he's rematching him.
But that's a shame for Vera because he was looking like he was gonna. He dethroned the star. Now he's gonna be the star, and then he lost.
to Jose Aldo. That's who he lost to, I think, last, right?
Was it Jose Aldo? Could have been.
Yeah, I believe so.
Was that the first? Was that when Jose Aldo dropped
To
down?
35, I believe.
I think so. Yeah. He's a good fighter though.
Yeah.
So, what did you think of O'Malley when he lost that fight? Did you think it was bullshit that he was like?
No, I think his nerve went out in his leg.
You
Yeah, I
think
think
that's
he
what it
got kicked, and then I think he went out. I mean, if you watch it, he then like came up. I mean, he like went
what I'm saying.
out
He
and
got
then, like woke up. Like, but I can see why he's gonna.
no, but
it.
like the pretending that the leg hurt. Wasn't he pretending that the leg?
Oh, well, his nerve went out with the leg kicks. I mean, his leg was shot, and then he broke his leg or his ankle before.
Yeah, that was the one where he was laying,
Yeah.
but he won the fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, where he.
When the guy could have just stood up and won.
Yeah.
All he had to do was stand up.
Right, because he couldn't follow you. He couldn't
All
follow
he
you.
had to do was stand
Yeah,
up
yeah.
and just sat on top, ground and pounded the whole third round, and then.
That's very frustrating, I'm sure, after the fight.
Yeah.
When you're like, what the fuck did I do?
Yeah, I think O'Malley does a good job just selling himself, and
Yeah.
you can remember his face. I mean, the guy has face tattoos, kind of does the 6'9" thing with the colored hair and the face tats. I mean,
Yeah.
it makes it
The
work.
no shirt with a suit jacket. That's
Yeah.
what I'm going to do on July 3rd when we go to the CFSC fights.
And I'm gonna
Eddie
pretend I
always
don't know
wears,
you.
Eddie always wears some good outfits
Yeah.
at CMC.
Yeah, he
he
does.
wears.
He's
he
very
has a
colorful.
Shirt on under.
Yeah. Not too many people do
I know
that.
the white suit with the. He was still bleeding after his last fight,
What happened?
so he got a white
Eddie?
suit on. Yeah, and then he got elbowed in the head, so it's still bleeding. And we're like, Eddie, why would you wear
White
your
suit.
cover?
That's confidence. He didn't think he was going to bleed.
But yes, that was.
Yeah,
Well, the
he
one
had,
previous to that was like the very colorful, like
He had a purple one the night of my fight because I fought the day after.
that distracting as shit while you're fighting.
He just had a purple. I just was like, I guess if you can pull it off. I couldn't pull it off.
You're trying to focus on the fight. And you see this purple thing just
Yeah.
moving back and forth. You're like, is that Eddie?
No, he's got good suits.
Yeah. Well, that's his
Is
thing.
that? Yeah. Are you gonna start wearing suits?
Probably not. I'm not a suit kind of guy.
That's fair.
All right. So should we try to make like 2 fight picks for this one just to make them?
Sure.
Let's
let me
look
see
at the card
rest of
again.
the card. Let's see.
Korean Zombie versus Iggy. I got Iggy on this one.
I do too. I think he's getting sharper. And I think his last Korean Zombie's last fight was Ortega, right? He got the 5-round fight.
Yeah, and he looked good in that until he got.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was
Ortega looked better.
Yeah, so yeah, I think Dan's young too. I don't think he's too old. He's probably
Yeah.
improving. So I think that's in. This guy's a pretty entertaining grappler, but
Who's that?
the Olenek.
Olenek.
Yeah.
Olenek got finished by Chris Dawkins.
Yeah. He's pretty entertaining He's old. How old is he?
I don't know if he's
40s, right?
59 and 15.
Yeah, he's been around. A little
That's
bit.
oh shit! I'm blind. I can't see these things. 59 and
15.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ, he fought everybody's brand.
Yeah, I think what's that? 75 pro fights. Yeah, I'm definitely not doing that many pro fights. That's a lot of fights.
I'm sure his speech is not going to be very
Yeah.
good in a couple of years.
I mean, he has a lot of wins. 59 wins. That's a good amount of wins, but I'm not doing 75 pro fights.
That seems like an eternity, right? Like if you look right now at your record and look at that record and say, I'm going to get to that point, that's a fucking eternity.
Yeah, only 73 more.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, not even just the fights, but how many ass whoopings do you have to take in the gym to get that many fights? It's just
Exactly.
that,
How many weight cuts? He's not
Yeah.
cutting any weight though.
yeah, he's just heavyweight.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's. I like his submissions. He pulls off some slick submissions.
All right, I'm going to go Olenek on this one.
Yeah.
Are we agreeing on all these picks so far?
I think Vera's gonna win that fight.
Yeah,
That's a
okay.
rematch. And
I got
the problem
Vera
is
as
a
well.
lot of these guys I just don't. It's hard for me to remember a lot of the foreign guys' names. I just can't.
Yeah.
It just doesn't click in my head as good.
What?
And I'm
Cho
like, I
Sang
know.
Woo?
Yeah, like I'm like I probably watched him fight, but I can't remember.
Yeah.
Korean Zombie. It's like
That's it.
Korean
The good
Zombie.
nickname.
It's like
See? Do you
yeah.
think he gave himself that nickname?
I doubt it.
Okay.
Someone definitely gave him that nickname.
Yeah, that's a weird nickname to give yourself.
And then I guess Matt Brown, he was on the bottom of the card. Who's he fighting?
Who, by the way,
Diego Lima.
can we put a picture of this guy up at least?
Yeah.
My lord.
Diego Lima.
Matt Brown.
Yeah, he's. I think he's been losing a lot too.
He's what?
I think he's lost a good amount in a row too. Matt
Yeah.
Brown. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna go with Lima.
I feel like he won his last fight, didn't he? He fought out. What's his name? Who's the other with the? I always go to say something stupid like
Carlos
with the
Condit?
tattoos. Well, they all have tattoos, huh?
He fought Carlos Condit. Didn't
Condit. Was it
he?
Condit?
No, Condit beat him.
Yeah.
How
Decision.
many? What's his last 10 fights? I feel like he's. I don't think he's. It says didn't. Yeah.
Right when my computer decides to slow down.
It's all good. We don't have to see how many fights he's lost.
Yeah.
So he's lost 2 in a row, but then 2 wins and then 3 losses in a row.
And then so.
That's a frustrating record. Just when he thought things were going good.
I thought it said, it says Ben Saunders. I thought it said Bo for a second. I was like, I looked at it.
You were like, you know what?
Like,
Fucking Bo. He's doing good. He's rocking the towel. All right. Anyone of you, before we wrap this up, anybody you want to call out in your gym, perhaps that you want to?
In my gym?
In your gym? That sounds like Issa? No, just,
Nah.
just fucking right. Brother, thanks so much for coming on, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
It's a pleasure to have you on. Dope shirts coming soon. Thanks to you.
Yep.
And my boy Chess. And go to YouTube. Do you subscribe? Let me ask you a question.
Do I subscribe to channels?
Did you subscribe to the channel?
Look, I'll pull out my phone. Let me see if I did.
If you didn't, you're not leaving until you subscribe. I'm
I
gonna get
subscribe.
subscribers one by one through the show.
I was saying.
Yeah, I gotta subscribe. Hey, I added it. I do because I like when it comes up on my list. Like when I.
That's all that it is. That's all the whole point is to get alerted, or it's for it to pop up on your feed. That's
Yeah.
it. That's
So,
not hurting you. Did it?
Boom.
How fast did that take?
Come on our show. We'll ask you questions and then
Yeah, a couple-
harass you to follow.
Yes. No, I was just trying to do an example of how fast somebody can subscribe.
Just like that.
was it.
Subscribe now. There you go.
It's a wrap.
Boom.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.